Alright, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another edition of the Return to the SWF. We are here in our Fallout show from the Master of Puppets pay-per-view. Full match card booked. Most of it actually pre-booked on the pay-per-view, which is not something I can say about Times of Trouble. I forgot that I like to pre-book now. In the news for the week, as in Saturday or I guess Sunday and Monday news, because we saw the Saturday news, that's probably why there was absolutely nothing. So I'm going to take the news report time and just let you guys know that it finally fucking happened. I finally found a friend for Chrissy Angel. Oh my god. It took forever. I can't show it here, and I don't want to show it there, but oh my god, she's been complaining about having no friends for months. And finally, after clawing and begging at my hands and knees, begging for her to talk to somebody, she's finally now best friends with Oliver Cobb. Cobb is married, and Chrissy's single, so they're not dating. If Cobb cheats on his wife, I don't care at this point. Just fucking do whatever you want. I don't care, because his wife is not in the database. Fuck her. So, other than that, I have a small problem with USPW. I have a giant problem with them as a whole, but I have another problem. You see, if I named this series Rebuilding the SWF, that would make a lot more sense, because we have grown. I'll screenshot it right here. We have grown all the way up to an 85 amongst the entirety of the US. I think we have 80s in Canada, and then we're about to break 70s in Mexico. And we are thriving. USPW is not. USPW have a 77 in the United States, but they are still ahead of us. And that is because of the bullshit that is Revier, where they get coverage across almost the entire world, gifting them popularity for free so they can book dog shit. So I started toying around with the launching my own broadcaster, just kind of toying around with it, because all the deals I have right now allow me to, they have, so like my deal with CAN, they have exclusive rights in the US and Canada, and I think Mexico, maybe just US and Canada. That's probably why it's called Canada American Network or something. But I have retained the footage to broadcast on my own broadcaster. So if I launch the SWF network and I put popularity into the United States and Canada, I would still be able to use it. So I started toying around with it, and I found a pretty solid launching base where I think, I can't remember exactly, but I'd put US and Canada higher up, and then I'd have the rest of the world at like medium coverage, just to give me base across the whole world, and I'd actually be making a profit. So expect the SWF network to come pretty soon, because I just need to wait like a few months to make sure that the profits are steady, because it's going to cost a lot of money to launch that broadcaster. And I also don't want to lose my pay-per-view revenue, so we're going to have to keep dealing with broadcasters going forward, because as of right now, that is how I make the majority of my money, is broadcasters. It's not really ticket sales, it's just broadcasters. So yeah, I noticed how over we were, and I'm like, what the fuck, and we need to launch our own broadcaster. So the SWF network is coming, baby. It's coming, and we're not going to peacock you. You can still watch on your CAN pay-per-views or whatever the hell you want. You can, so yeah. Without further ado, I don't really have much else to say. That was a horrible job of finishing that sentence. So, we open this edition of the SWF with Eric Eisen, not the Crippler. And Eric Eisen notes this. He's like, usually the Crippler likes to take up a good fucking first hour of my show every time he retains his title. But he's busy right now. He's training. He's getting ready for his world title match tonight with Joey Morgan. So I wanted to take the time right now that he would usually be taking to announce that come Times of Trouble, we will have the Supreme Rumble. seeing the success of everything to gain and the briefcase that it came with, and all the excitement and all the excitement that comes with it, I can't get enough of that. So we're going to have another yearly event, this time at Times of Trouble, where 30 men will enter at timed intervals, and the winner will go on to the Supreme Challenge to face either the Crippler, Joey Morgan, or whoever the world champion is coming out of Times of Trouble. They will fight for the world title in the main event of the Supreme Challenge 40. Boom. We're doing a Rumble. Oh, I didn't run down the card again. Shit. I keep forgetting to run down the card. I fumbled the Supreme Network announcement so badly that I forgot to run over the card. But this next match was announced on Twitter. The big money makers hinted at the pay-per-view that they'd be going for the tag team titles. So they have a tag team match against the Heritage. Good stuff. Amazing stuff. 70 rated match. James Diaz is the weak link, mainly because he's much newer than Logan Wolfsbane, and of course, Brandon James and Spencer Spade, but a 70 is a 70. You'll love to see it. The big money makers win their match after Dulce Moreno interfered. They hit the franchise flatliner. Spencer pinned James, and then, of course, the big money makers after their match, they're going to call out Hawaiian Crush. They're like, "Do you see that? We just won a tag match. We're ready for the tag titles." And then High Flying Hawaiian and Akuma are like, in recent months, I've been losing my cool and just kind of throwing out tag title matches, and I just wanted to let you guys know you picked the wrong time to challenge, because that's about to stop. I've been watching you guys. I'm a student of the game. I've been watching you guys go, and you guys are kind of pathetic. I mean, you can't really win without your manager's interference, and Brandon James has to be held back by Spencer after being called a loser. And High Flying Hawaiian's like, so there is one thing I can't take away from you, and that's your guys' tag team win-loss record. It's pretty impressive. You've won 3 matches in a row now, I believe. That could be completely wrong. I have no idea. We're just going to go with it, because hopefully Dave Meltzer doesn't fact-check me. So, you've won 3 matches in a row, I think, so I can't take that away from you. So what we're going to do is, if you can win a tag team match next week without Chrissy Angel's help, without Dulce Moreno's help, they can be at ringside all you want. But if they interfere in the match even one time for 1 second, you can forget your world tag team title match. And Chrissy Angel, you could hear Spencer and Brandon going like, "That's fucking bullshit. Why are we being punished because we get bitches? What?" And then Chrissy just kind of pushed him back. She's like, all right, guys, think of the prize. This will be worth it. I have a plan. And then she's like, "We accept your challenge. Bring us whoever you want next week, because we will take those tag titles from you eventually." 77 rated match. Of course, Spencer Spade was good. He's always good. He used the crowd well, actually. And so did Chrissy, because she has a friend now, so she's happy. Up next, we have not a match. I thought there was a match. My bad. We cut backstage where Joey Morgan's kind of sitting, minding his own business, and Brett Starr's like, "That fucking snake. Justin, he is the reason that I'm not getting a world title match right now. That motherfucker had the balls to win that match. We're going to teach him a lesson. All right, you see that crowbar I gave you? Yeah, are we renovating a house? No. We're going to take that and... A house? Justin, really? A house? I don't know. Sorry. No, we're going to renovate his nose to his asshole. We're going to rebuild his kneecaps one by one after breaking them. We'll break them and we won't rebuild them." And Justin's like, "I get you now." And then he charges right at Joey Morgan, and he is met with a nasty super kick from Jimmy Hernandez, who was waiting for them. I imagine Justin and Hollywood were like talking around the corner, around a giant pole, and Jimmy like wasn't even hiding. He was just standing there and they didn't notice him. So when when Justin charges at him and gets laid out with a super kick, Jimmy's like, "You guys might want to get out of here. This isn't going to work out for you." And Brett's like, "God fucking damn it." And then their plan was failed. Unfortunate for Hollywood and Justin. 85, really good angle. We cut to an interview by Steve Freely and Anna Garcia, and basically all Anna says, That is now the second time that you have failed to capture the world title, but it is also the second time that you weren't pinned for it. What is next for Steve Freely? And Steve Freely pretty much is like, I returned. When I came back to the SWF, I had one goal in mind, and that was regaining the SWF World Heavyweight Championship. And technically, on paper, I have failed. But if you really look at it, I'm in a triple threat match, Remo gets pinned. I'm in a 5-way match, and and Randy gets pinned. And I barely have a chance to even showcase. I came back, and I still have yet to get my fair shot at the world title. So Crippler, Morgan, I hope you're both watching me work, because you're going to need to study me, or else I'm going to take that title from you, or something like that. Every time in my head, I'm like, I'm going to do a basic promo, and then I get too into it, and I fuck up. Every time. 81 for that. Up next, we have Leon de Oro versus Robbie Wright. This was set up on the pay-per-view when Robbie Wright interrupted Leon's interview and basically was like, who's this jabroni? I've been on the roster. Why are you interviewing him? And then Leon backhanded him and was like, meet me in the ring. And I think if you're Robbie Wright, you probably shouldn't have met him in the ring because you got your ass kicked. This was just another showcase match for Leon de Oro, picking up his first win here in the SWF, which sounds pathetic, but again, he debuted 3 weeks ago, and his first match was, I think, against Bear Bukowski, if I am not mistaken. His first match was against Primus Allen, which is even more difficult. So, oof. Yeah, I think this might actually be his only second match in the company. So he's 1-1. Not a bad record. I don't know why I thought he's lost like 3 times, but not a bad record. 68 for the match. Both guys did alright. And, that reminds me. During these angles, okay, so because we're building to a Royal Rumble pay-per-view, all the storylines are kind of jumbled about. So I have plans. A lot of storylines and a lot of matches are going to be set up in that Rumble. Not right now. So you're going to be seeing in angles a lot of guys that kind of have seemingly nothing to do with the angle just so I can advance these storylines. So if you're like, why the fuck is Robbie Retro in an angle about Steve Freely, which has not happened and won't happen, but in case there's something that jars you, just know we'll get back to it. So just kind of ignore when it says X is off screen or whatever. So I said that, and then there's like a normal one. So after the match, Greg Keith comes to the ring, just destroyed with boos. But on the Tron and the ring announcer, it says Greg Gage, and everyone's a little confused. And Greg's like, dude, I was about to do a full promo, but it's not worth it. So Greg comes out and he basically says, like, Sam Keith's a bitch. I used him to get hired. He always cared about Matt more. Where's my Burning Hammer You helped Matt get into Burning Hammer. Where's my Burning Hammer run? Why aren't I in Pride? Why am I not in this GWA? Why are you always helping my brother over me? So fuck this family. Fuck the family name. You can keep it. I will never be referred to as a Keith again. From now on, I am Greg Gage. And so he's basically just like, I whooped Steven Parker's ass. I didn't need your help. I didn't need your help to beat up Steven Parker. And eventually Dominic D'Souza comes out, and he is like, no, you're the bitch, fight me. And so in his promo, he kind of just notes that, like, it was Greg that took out Steven Parker. Sam had nothing to do with that assault. I feel like we all kind of assumed, like, Greg's getting ready for his match. Sam Keith's helping out his son by destroying Dominic backstage. So Dom actually notes that it wasn't Sam. Sam had nothing to do with this and likely didn't even know that Dom was laid out backstage. So it was Greg. Greg was the only one behind Dom getting beaten down, Steven Parker being at a disadvantage, and then he kicked the shit out of his own father. So Dom challenges for a match next week. Greg accepts. Good shit. We get a promo by Scythe and John Greed, where basically Scythe is like, it would have been nice to have that world title, but my goal since day one this year, I've destroyed Stall to Bones, and now I'm going to destroy Rocky Golden. While it would have been nice to have the title, it's not necessary for ruining Rocky. 87 rated promo. Up next is the 3v3 match. Team Sexy versus ZWB and Cobb versus Des Davids and a mystery partner, which turns out to be a swerve, because if you've noticed during the actual promo on the pay-per-view, Squeaky never said that Des would be in this match. He just begged Eisen. It was originally going to be a 5-way singles match, and he's like, no, Eric, that's a disadvantage for me. Make it a 2v2, I'll get 2 guys, alright? And we just kind of all assumed Des Davids would be one of them. And Squeaky explains this. So instead of getting Des to wrestle a tag match, he reunited one of the greatest tag teams in RIPW history, one of the former best friends who have been kind of doing their own thing right now, but we have split them back into a tag team. Ladies and gentlemen, Maddie Faith and Ranger, The Mission. And the crowd's like, whoa, wait a minute. First off, Maddie Faith's teaming with Mass Patriot and their faces, and Ranger's teaming with Marshall Dillon and their faces. And Squeaky McLean has pulled some strings, and he has turned them to the dark side, turned Maddie Faith heel, turned Ranger heel. Boom. They have reunited as The Mission. They were one of those RIPW teams, and I had 2, in 2016, I had 2 long-term saves. When I say long-term, I mean saves that lasted longer than a year. And in one of those, The Mission actually turned out to be like one of the best teams in my division. And I was really disappointed when I saw the 2020 database and saw them get called up, not as The Mission. So we're gonna go with The Mission, and this time they're gonna be heels, and they showcase themselves in this 2v2v2. And fucking, why does nobody have chemistry with Squeaky? Come on. Why? How is Squeaky such a shitty manager? What the fuck? Oh my god. Regardless, The Mission come out on top. There's no non-elimination 2v2v2 in the game, so just ignore this. Maddie Faith pinned Sammy Smoke to get the victory. ZWB got an 80 because he's too good for this storyline. I'm sorry, I don't have anything else for you right now. The match gets a 79, which I'm still very happy with. And then we cut backstage to a Mikey Lau promo, and Anna Garcia, she's like, at Master of Puppets, you had the biggest win of your career, taking out Remo Richardson with no underhanded tactics, him at 100%, you probably not at 100%. Everybody wants to know what is next for Mikey Lau, and Mikey Lau basically is like, what's next? That Supreme Rumble sounds really enticing. I get a world title match at the Supreme Challenge if I win. So you already know, I put my name in the hat. I'm going to be in the Supreme Challenge, and motherfucker, I'm going to win. And then Randy Unleashed and Primus Allen just jump him out of nowhere for an unknown reason. Nobody knows why. Until they explain that they jump him because they are pissed that he is getting all the spotlight. He wasn't in the world title match. Why is he getting the spotlight? Yeah, I got pinned, so what? At least I fought for the world title. You got to go through 29 other dudes to fight for the world title. You know what? He is right, though. Maybe I should fight one-on-one for it. Me and Primus, you can count us both in for that Supreme Rumble, too. Yeah, they jump him. 73 for the mugging. And we cut back to Hollywood and Justin Sensitive, who see Jimmy Hernandez in catering, and they're like, this motherfucker's trying to eat food after what he did to you, Justin. You see that lead pipe I gave you? Yeah, what are we doing? Are we fixing the plumbing in the building? No, you're gonna... Justin, how have you not caught on that we beat the shit out of people? And just, I'm sorry, you're right. And then he goes and he tries to wail the lead pipe right on the back of Jimmy Hernandez's head. And Jimmy Hernandez has got like a plate of food, and he just quickly whips around and smashes the plate right in Justin Sensitive's face. Plate shatters, and Jimmy looks right at Hollywood and chases after him. And that's the segment. 74 for that segment. Up next is the North American title open challenge, and it is answered by the Pain Alliance And Lenny's like, you guys, it's not a 3-way. It's not a 4-way. You can't both answer. And they're like, oh, we know. We already told Eric which one of us is fighting for the title. And Lenny's just looking at him. They're not getting out of the ring. And it's a very confusing moment. And then the second the bell rings, Big Smack Scott takes out Rogue. Rogue's kind of like leaning on the ropes. He does the Mick Foley clothesline where they both spill out to the ring, and then it's revealed that Curt Laramie is going to be the one to challenge for it. And this was their plan, was to wait until the last possible moment to reveal who it was, to try to catch Lenny Brown off guard. And while it works for a little bit, Curt Laramie keeps control of the match for a good 10 minutes straight. However, at the last 5 minutes, it goes back to 50-50. Lenny Brown's able to stop Curt Laramie's offense. Kurt's getting older, he's getting a little slower. Lenny Brown's still younger, he's still fresh, and he is still him. And he hits the star treatment. Lenny Brown makes defense number 5 of the North American title. 76 personal rating, 78 for the segment. And then after the match, Lenny grabs a microphone, and he's like, I'm very disappointed in you guys. You guys say you like to fight. Where's your fight in you? You got to use underhanded tactics now because you're 45 and decrepit now? That's pathetic. I want to see the old Pain Alliance. I want to see that XFW Curt Laramie. I want to see Big Smack Scott when he kept getting kicked out of promotions for being an asshole. Next week, you two versus us two. We're going to be in Texas. We're doing a Texas tornado match. And I want to see the brutal, the ruthless, the no fucks given Pain Alliance, not this wimpy, cheap shot Pain Alliance. And he throws down the microphone, and him and Rogue walk off with the North American Championship. 73 for that match. Up next, we have a promo by Rocky Golden, and he calls out none other than Scythe, and I accidentally put Randy Unleashed in the fucking angle. Damn it. Shit. Fuck. I have not done that this save. That's so upset. It still gets a 90, so that's fine, but that is so annoying. Fuck. Alright. Here, we're gonna edit Rocky. There he is. There's Rocky. Oh, that's really annoying. Fuck. Alright. So, Rocky cuts a promo where he's basically like, Scythe, you will never create my downfall. Nobody can stop me, especially not you. So how about you finally decide to come in and square up instead of trying to beat me through nefarious means, trying to jump me during matches, jump me after matches, before matches, basically anything but fight me in a match. I've seen you do it. I watched you retire Skull to Bones. Try and do the same to me. And it's not Skull that comes, it's not Sight that comes out, it's the awesomeness that come out. And the awesomeness are like, we're riding high without Randy, which is really mad. Anybody else, I would have been pissed because it's not Rocky, but especially pissed that Randy was accidentally put in this angle because of what I was planning on saying. We've been riding high without Randy, and we want to prove to the world that we got what it takes to take out the top talent in the company. We want to face you two next week. Scythe's not going to answer you. You want him to jump you? He jumps you during and after matches. You got to get into a match. So why not give us what we want and you can get what you want? And Rocky and Valiant are like, you got some balls and I appreciate that. So you're on. Next week, Rocky and Valiant versus Huey and Jefferson. Tag team match. 90 rated segment. Randy fucking, by the way, I did not know Randy was him. Okay, well, he struggled, but dude, Huey and Jefferson are them. So just 90, good shit for filling in for Rocky by accident. And now it is time for a main event, the Crippler versus Joey Morgan, the amazing rematch. And so the story of this rematch is kind of like all the spots that, what should I say? All the spots that Crippler used to beat Joey Morgan, Joey was able to counter this time. He studied from the last match, so anytime that Crippler did something that got him a huge advantage in their last encounter, Joey was able to counter and take control. Crippler, however, is still him. He is still a beast, and he can just overpower Joey Morgan every now and then. But Joey is able to get the upper hand more often than not through sheer, architectural wrestling. And Joey Morgan, He's got it already. He's got the Empire Spiral all set up, and he's ready to finish Crippler off. But then Kristen Pierce, of all people, come in, appear from the outside, distract the referee. Adam Smasher runs in, lays him out with a alarmingly dangerous clothesline, picks him up, throws him right into the Crippler, who hits him with a tombstone pile driver before Adam makes his escape, and the Crippler makes another defense of the world title, escaping by the skin of his teeth. Joey Morgan genuinely had him there for a second, but Crippler was saved by Adam Smasher, who explains his actions right after, and he's like, "Your friend took everything from me. Your friend prevented me from cashing in that world title that I so rightfully deserved. So I'm going to take everything from you and everything from him." And then he points to the screen, and Domination have laid out Jimmy Hernandez. Brett and Justin couldn't do it, but I'm sure the sheer mass of Avalanche and Chill teaming up on Jimmy Hernandez after everything that went down. For all we know, Hollywood Brett Starr could have been leading him to Avalanche and Chill after Jimmy started chasing him. And so Adam Smasher returns right to Joey. "You better count your fucking days, Morgan. You and your little main market buddy better count their fucking names, because next week it's gonna be me and my new best friend versus Jimmy and you, Joey. You better start training, because I'm here to rip your teeth out one by one and then feed them to my pet lizard." 96 to end the show. 87, even without a Rocky promo. Who needs him? I do. Please never do that to me again, Rocky. I'm sorry. 87. Good shit. See, this is what I'm talking about. We limited viewers. Limited viewers. So the SWF network is going to be coming soon. And hopefully we can take over the wrestling. Because that's what it is. Good booking gets rewarded in this game. You see, does USPW have a crazy, deranged lunatic who thinks he has superpowers that feeds teeth to his pet lizard? I don't think so. So I'm gonna show you right now. So as you can see, SWF is behind USPW, and that is because USPW has so much pop across the globe, whereas we are over as fuck in the States, over as fuck in Canada, pretty over in Mexico, but the rest of the world, we're like, they don't know what it's like to be supreme, and that's a problem. Get out of here. I didn't look at it. I want to look at it. Hey, you know what? Okay. Credit where credit's due. This looks like a good main event. That looks like a good main event. I could not say the fucking same about this. Doc Hammond, good night. So that's going to do it for this episode of the return to the SWF. I hope you all enjoyed, and I hope you all are excited for that Times of Trouble show as much as I am. And I'll see you for the next episode.